Hello and welcome back to the Trainers of the World Tournament. I'm your host, DeltaTDS, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Will.
We're at the start of a new era.
Yes, we are at the start of round 2. Starting off with quite the game. We've got Pokemon Trainer Silver going up against the Hoenn Gym Leader, Norman.
Yep, this is yeah. We got a Lugia, we got a Feraligatr, we got a Gengar, and then we got a Sawsbuck, and an X-Cloud, and a Slaking.
It's definitely going to be an interesting match. On top of, Ho-Oh and Lugia over there, we've Silver also has a Mega Gengar.
Yeah, that is a strong one.
Yeah, and Norman is going with the Mega Kangaskhan, which I believe was terrifying back in the X and Y meta.
Yeah, that thing was a beast.
But once these trainers are ready, we can begin round 2, match 43.
Yes, let's see it.
Norman leading off with the X-Cloud as Silver leads off with that Magnezone.
Yep.
This one having a balloon as well.
And balloon popped, but Thunderwave comes out and misses the X-Cloud.
Unfortunate for that Magnezone. Definitely needed that speed drop for the X-Cloud.
Yeah, now that's not much you can do against it at this point. Just gonna die to another flamethrower.
Sending out that Feraligatr.
This thing, honestly, Feraligatr, one of my favorite starters, not even gonna lie.
It's got a good design, yeah. Unfortunately, its 3D model was nerfed.
Yeah, not too kind to it. But it does learn, it is still a pretty good Pokemon. It, obviously showing it's got insane moves like Dragon Dance and Liquidation.
Mega Kangaskhan going for that fake out, activating the Guava Berry.
And oh my goodness. Okay, thank God that Feraligatr did not get Parahax there. I mean, it doesn't do enough damage to take the Kangaskhan out, but at least does do something.
Power Punch, finishing off that Feraligatr.
Can you imagine if... I don't think it does, because if Power Up Punch got like 2 attack boosts on Mega Kangaskhan?
I think it does.
Does it really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
At least for X and Y.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons it was broken. But Gengar with the Sludge Bomb does finish it off. Yeah, it was basically a physical Swords Dance.
Yeah, well, unfortunate that Norman loses that Mega Kangaskhan there, because that was, I would say, honestly, far and away, it's his biggest threat. Left with a whole bunch of, just, let me eat my words real quick, because Bouffaline hits that Earthquake real quick onto that Gengar, just one-shotting it.
Lugia coming out here. The King of the Seas.
Which is weird, because you would think that would be Kyogre. I mean, is he the King of the Seas? I mean,
well, he swims through the seas.
He does. That is true. I don't know about, the King.
I mean, in all the artwork, he's like messing with the seas or whatever.
But his signature move is Aeroblast.
Yeah. Setting up the Calm Mind has Slaking goes for that Giga Impact, doing quite a bit of damage to it.
Yep. Eject button. Bringing that thing out instead. We're either going to be switching into the Staraptor or the Sawsbuck. Yes.
What can this deer? Oh, going for the return. Getting at 30%, but not gonna survive an Arrow Blast.
Staraptor coming up has that Intimidate, which really good ability. I mean, we've said it before.
One of the abilities of all time.
Absolutely, especially in doubles. Thankfully, this is not. And
Hello, following Lugia falling.
Avenging his brother.
Raper doing a lot to that ho.
Well, his slacking against the world here.
And it's... If this Weavile can't take out the Slaking, well,
I mean,
it's got 2 turns too.
Right? Yes. Yeah, it's got the break.
Plus True Wants, but Silver takes game number 1. He forgot to Mega, but you know what? He still won.
Maybe it was a tactical, not Mega, you know?
Yeah.
We've seen it before. It's not the craziest thing in the world.
What did you see there?
Yeah, we saw quite a bit. Saw the Mega Kangaskhan, that is for sure.
We are back on the field for game number 2. Silver took that one by a close win.
Yeah, it was definitely, you know, maybe a little bit closer than even we would have expected, to be honest.
Yeah, Norman's definitely holding his own against the 2 birds of Johto.
Yeah, Silver's got that we were talking about it, you know, before.
Scary team with the combination Lugia, Ho-Oh. You know, I'd say honestly, all of his Pokemon are pretty scary.
Yeah, I'm sure if Norman plays it right, he can definitely.
Yeah,
take
if
game
he
2.
if he puts his Kangaskhan, I think, in the right position, then it is entirely possible. I think it's pretty dependent on the Kangaskhan, but it's very doable.
I mean, I think that Slaking can do a lot too.
Yes, I mean, obviously the problem with slacking is always and forever going to be truant.
Yeah.
It's just a given, really.
Unless he takes on a Cofagrigus and gets mummied.
I mean, you know, tactical duo play right there.
But
Changes over to double battles, as we were talking about.
Trainers are ready. We can game 2. Yeah. If Norman can fight off against the Cofagrigus, I think he'll win that game or win that match. That's if he beats Silver here.
That's an if. That is an if right there.
For Alligator, leading off with that Dragon Dance as Blueflon goes for Head Charge. Almost
Dragon
taking
Dance
that for Alligator out.
Almost, not quite, and now this thing is in a pretty good position. I mean, yeah, here comes the Kangaskhan once again, which, if I'm not mistaken, took the Alligator out in the last game, I think.
Yes, I believe with Power Punch. No, it
Which
did.
is-
It only got 1 off.
Yeah, it didn't get the free sword stance, just the 1.5 times.
It dealt too much damage.
Too powerful for his own good, really.
Now, what could Feraligatr go for here?
I don't know if it can really go for a whole lot. I think we saw last game that liquidation, even with the Dragon Dance up, is not going to be enough to kill this Kangaskhan. And I think it's
Silver.
higher health than it was last game, so Kangaskhan might be able to get that power-up punch off and get both hits in.
That is true, yes. Silver could predict the power-up punch and go into Gengar.
Could.
That is certainly a play he can make.
But then, I mean, obviously, like, there's a million different ways that it could go. Maybe Norman predicts the Gengar switch and doesn't go for power-up punch.
Going for Crunch. He was predicting that.
Yeah, Crunch, pretty safe option there. I mean, obviously kills for Alligator anyway, and then definitely would have just destroyed the Gengar.
Yeah. But now he can almost certainly get that double power-up punch in.
Maybe, but Ho-Oh
Yeah,
is
they
going to
can-
be running, stuff like, I think, probably a Sacred Fire, which, if I'm not mistaken about that move, has a decent chance to burn.
I think it's 50% chance. 50 or 100. It's something ridiculous.
It's a lot. Instead, is not actually going to be going for that Brave Bird. Goes for the, or not going to go for the Sacred Fire. Sorry, does go for the Brave Bird.
But Body Slam does finish off that Ho-Oh. No paralysis, which I'm surprised about.
Well, you can't be paralyzed when you're dead.
True.
Well, actually, I guess
Wow.
that's just eternal paralysis. I mean, depends on how you look at it.
Yeah. Unless some scientist throws a bunch of bolts in your body.
Frankenstein's monster was never the real monster.
Maybe we were the monster.
The whole time. Maybe Frankenstein's monster was the friends we made along the way.
I think that's the moral of the story. Gengar with the Sludge Bomb taking out that Kangaskhan. Not gonna let it. Well, I guess set up a
Not gonna
power
let it hit the
punch.
crunch. Really, is what it's not gonna let it do.
Yeah, it's a very fast Pokemon.
It definitely is. I mean, I don't know if Norman has anything that can actually outspeed it at this point.
It's got a lot of normal types though.
This is true. However, I mean, obviously, it's shown that Gengar is not just packing Ghost type moves, so.
Yeah. Switching out to the Lugia, and Boomburst's gonna break that multi-scale.
Man, multi-scale is another one of those just. I feel like it's a really good ability.
Yeah. I mean, even with multi-scale, what was it? Was it Slacking's Giga Impact doing like 30%?
Yeah, it
to
only did
Lugia?
like 30%, which, I mean, 30% into a multi-scale Pokemon is still impressive.
Not
but-
to mention Lugia's like very bulky.
Very true, yeah, which might incentivize, now that it is broken, maybe sacking this X-Cloud and sending in that Slacking.
Ice Beam dealing only a third, even though it's super effective. Just shows how crazy this thing is.
Just gonna need to keep chipping away at it until not letting it use those lefties to get all the way back up to full.
Going for the Calm Mind.
That might be bad because, I mean, I think Lugia might just be able to keep spamming. Nope, never mind.
Oh,
I was gonna say, it might be able to keep spamming Calm Mind until that X-Cloud's doing, less damage than leftovers are healing back up, and then at that point, there's nothing you can do against it. Instead, Brave Bird is gonna take it out. That's surprising, I think. I did not expect the Brave Bird to be doing that much damage to a Lugia.
We are now down to 3-on-3, both teams. Discharge dealing a little over a third to that Saw's bug. And return doing 20%.
Yeah, resisted, but still doing enough, really, and I mean, obviously enough to pop the air balloon because that only takes the one.
And Slaking coming out here with the earthquake to finish off that magnet zone. Gengar, what's this thing gonna do?
That's a great question. I mean, obviously this thing is scary, but Slaking's, it could take a hit.
I think it could take a few.
Mm-hmm. And I believe we saw last game it had an eject button. So the second it does take a hit here, it's going to be switching into that Staraptor.
It's a standoff here.
Yeah, just a stare down between like the most intense looking fucking Gengar and Slaking, who's being chilling, to be honest.
Yeah. Getting those belly scratches in.
He's itchy, bro.
Going for the Sludge Bomb, which activates eject button and brings in the Staraptor.
Mm-hmm. Staraptor, maybe? No, I don't think it's able to outspeed Gengar unless it has a Scarf.
If it has a Scarf, certainly it can.
Yes.
Sludge Bomb takes out that Staraptor.
Looks like it probably must not. And now, I mean, despite Slaking being a decently tanky Pokemon, it's not going to be able to take that second Sludge Bomb, and definitely not going to be able to act first.
Well, Silver takes game number 2, which means he takes the first match of round 2.
Congratulations to Silver on that one, and good game to Norman.
Yeah, Silver is the first trainer to go to round 3. First time we're saying that. Join us tomorrow, where we will be seeing the Alolan Elite Four Olivia going up against the Johto Gym Leader Price. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you then. Take care.
Peace.